Oh, hello there. Yes, we live another day. Yes, still got a cough, still got sniffles, still got a bit of a headache, but I on the mend, I'm pleased to say. Anyway, yesterday I was trying not to laugh because it makes me cough, but there was a brilliant exchange on GB News which totally exposes the exact essence of the whole performative nature of the so-called news that they present, whereby they got into a bit of a muddle talking about how multiculturalism has not failed, and it's all the fault of those people that live in London, some of whom may be different colours. Let's have a watch of this because it really is something.
You can't buy homes here.
Worse than Madagascar?
Well, look, I talk in jest.
Yes, the drama classes.
But there are. I mean, look, white Brits are a minority in London now. It's not an English city anymore. In terms of community,
you think I shouldn't be in London?
Well, you're British. I'm saying white Brits. You're a Brit.
Yes, but I'm not a white Brit.
Yeah, but you're British.
Right.
But
you said white Brit.
In terms of community,
I'm part of the community.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with race, though.
So why did you say white Brits?
We're very successful, multiracial.
We are. So let's talk about that.
It's about culture, and Sadiq Khan emphasising the differences between us all, which has been ruinous.
Yes, well, there you have it. It's definitely not about race. It's about people that are different to us in other ways. Of course it is. Anyway, it's all Sadiq Khan's fault, and we mustn't talk about race because we're a really successful multicultural society, apart from the fact that multiculturalism has really failed us completely. Brilliant. Which goes to the heart of the problem, doesn't it, for these people, in the sense that the moment you shed any form of minor light on what exactly they're saying, it all falls apart, which is why they've carefully developed this sort of ecosystem whereby nobody's asked awkward questions. And I was very much thinking of this yesterday with Peter Whittle on the New Culture Forum, because once again it's just an evidence and fact-free zone. He's got a book that he wants you to buy. I'm not buying it. I should and read it and take it apart, but I'm not giving the guy any money. So anyway, yes, they're going to demand things of candidates in the next election. Good luck with that, mate. But I just wanted, these particular podcasts from yesterday was focusing on education. I think it's worthwhile just unpacking exactly what it is that they're going to be asking for. So let's watch that.
Emergency, and it's a voice for the silenced majority. There are a number of essays in this, but the point is the book is actually based around a series of pledges which we will be putting to candidates who are standing in the general election next year, whenever it happens. And there are a series of essays which support these pledges. These are the things that we at the New Culture Forum think have to be done if this country is in fact to be saved. Now, I am so pleased that I'm joined by Philip and Rafe, because one of the most important areas, of course, is education. In fact, in some ways you could say it's at the root of all of this. So I'm going to discuss with them today because they've both written chapters in this book on education. Thank you very much for joining today. I'm going to start actually. These are these pledges, 10 of them. And there are 2 on education. And first of all, number 4, we need the thorough, balanced history of Britain and its achievements being taught to every pupil in every school to the age of 16. Right? And then we also there must be a complete ban on the teaching, as though it were fact, of critical race theory, gender ideology, and other associated ideologies in schools across the entire curriculum. So in other words, these are quite drastic measures, which of course will appeal, I'm sure, to everybody's common sense. But
yes, well, there you have it, all perfectly reasonable, except of course Peter isn't a reasonable man, so that's not actually what he's asking for. Balanced my foot. Anyway, currently he is right that history is not taught till the age of 16. If he wants that change, I would suggest that rather than badgering other people about it, that he forms his own political party, which he has done, and stands candidates, which he hasn't done, because of course no one will turn up, no matter how much you complain about a silent majority, mate. Anyway, let's look at the Key Stage 3 curriculum and let's see if we can find a problem with it. Currently taught up until the age of 14. If you want to study arts history after that, you have to do it at GCSE. But let's look at the Key Stage 3 stuff. A high-quality history education will help pupils gain a coherent knowledge and understanding of Britain's past and that of the wider world. It should inspire pupils' curiosity to know more about the past. Teaching should equip pupils to ask perceptive questions, think critically, weigh evidence, sift arguments, and develop perspective and judgment. History helps pupils understand the complexity of people's lives, the process of change, the diversities of societies, and relationships between different groups, as well as their own identity and challenges of their time. Yes, indeed. Which sounds great, doesn't it? But not to Peter, of course, because that's not what he wants. He wants a history that is based around everything being brilliant, and anything bad that happened all happened before 1830, and after that people just suddenly thought to themselves, let's be nice to each other, which they're continuing to do, apart from the brown foreigners who have let us all down. That's the reality of what Peter wants, I'm afraid. As for his other demands, well, none of that stuff is going on, as I've consistently said over several years in these videos. Critical race theory is not taught as fact. Gender ideology, whatever he means by that, is not taught as fact. There's loads of things that are taught as fact in schools that perhaps aren't, but they're statutory obligations that teachers have to do from the government. Now, Peter's willing, I'm sure, to increase those by a great deal, but he doesn't want to have schools teaching young people critical thinking at all, does he? Rather disingenuous. So anyway, good luck with that, Peter and Rafe and the other one. Whatever, it isn't going to happen. It really is stunning that the moment you just scratch away at this stuff, you instantly, everything falls to dust, doesn't it, realistically? Yeah. I mean, you know, we are fed this stuff. That's all it is. It's just simply a machine that keeps feeding this stuff to us. And it is no wonder that they are getting so desperate in their attempts to construct a narrative that we might buy. The sight yesterday of a Prime Minister of Indian origin basically coming out with just stuff that the National Front in the 1970s would find a little bit extreme is really, really odd. That multiculturalism is really bad, unless you look at the cabinet, in which case it's a triumph of multiculturalism. Can't have both, guys. It's not the way it works. Anyway, do have a lovely Monday.